So you wanna know how to do live auto-tune?
No, jokes aside, if you've seen Travis Scott, Rich Amiri, or any of the big underground rappers performing, you've probably heard them perform with like live autotune or live effects, delays, reverbs, but especially autotune for like that new wave type of sound. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Stream. I'm an artist myself, but I've also been fortunate enough to do live sound / live autotune for a lot of awesome artists in the underground, such as Rich Amiri, Skywater, Tana, DevStacks, Killy, Young Fazo, R2R, Mo, Big Baby Gucci, Autumn, and all my friends. Like I do it for FTN, for First Class. And if you haven't seen my videos, I have a super like minimalistic setup. In this video, I'm just gonna show you guys what my setup looks like and how I go about running live autotune.
Pretty dope. And it's gonna be super sick. It's super dope. Yeah.
Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm going to be using FL Studio, but in reality, you can use any DAW in the world as long as you can run it with very low latency. You want like little to no. I think I have 2 milliseconds of latency on my DAW, nothing that would be noticeable. As you can see, I'm just running it with a good old Focusrite. That should be all you need. Obviously, like something like a Volt or an Apollo would be ideal because they have even less latency, but the Focusrite is good enough, in my opinion. I think it's great. I've done 1,000 shows like that and haven't run into any issues. Pretty much just like when you're recording, I set it up the same way, right? Interface to laptop, and then I'm running a wireless mic, so this is the receiver for the wireless mic, and then that's where the wireless mic is plugged in. But you don't need a wireless mic. You can do this with any type of mic, a wired mic. It doesn't need to be wireless. I'm just using wireless to show that it's possible to do it without latency. For anyone who hasn't done a show of any kind, most venues will have some sort of soundboard you'll be plugging into, whether that be directly into the soundboard or with DI boxes. DI boxes are pretty much like plug-in ports that will be on the stage for you to use. To run live autotune, you can either be on the stage or be wherever the soundboard is. In my personal opinion, I think it's much better to be on the stage just in case the artist like wants to say something to you, like turn off the autotune, turn down the autotune. I think it's good to be beside the stage for those types of reasons. With my interface, you out with 1/4 inches. So here I have a little mixing board here, and I just plugged in my 1/4 inches to the mixing board. And then from the mixing board, it's plugged into the speakers. Like I said, for this video, I'm using FL Studio, but in reality, you can use any DAW as long as it can run without latency. So first thing you want to do is obviously just turn your input on onto a channel, select whichever input your mic is on, and then for effects, it really comes down to the type of artist, what type of song you're doing. But for me, I normally like to run autotune, a limiter. Be careful with limiters because if the vocalist is like really soft spoken, the limiter might make it so the mic doesn't pick up the vocalist as well. So you might want to turn off the limiter for a quieter vocalist, for someone who's louder. And then I have 2 EQs, 2 compressors, and then I have chorus, which is totally optional. And then I have 2 delays that I use sometimes, but not all the times. For my personal sets, I don't use delays too much. If I do, it'll be very intentional, but some people like crazy delays, like Travis Scott and a lot of like the new wave rappers, a lot of them like the crazy delays live. And then a little bit of reverb. But like I said, it totally comes down to your choices and the artist choices on how you guys want the live mic to sound. If you guys want my exact vocal chain on what I use live, I'm going to be putting it on my website. I have a bunch of really cool vocal presets on there, drum kits, drum loop kits, and a bunch of other cool stuff coming on that website soon. But yeah, if you're interested in having the same vocal chain as me, you can check out my website. But anyways, I also wanted to show you guys how you can adjust the vocal chain to kind of work for different types of music. First, I'm going to do a more melodic singing one, so I'm going to have the autotune turned down, not so aggressive. So here on my vocal chain, I'm just going to turn off the delays because I don't really want it for just the clean singing vocal, just a bit of reverb. And then if you go on your auto-tune, you're going to want to turn up the retune speed to sound more natural, and then make sure there's some humanize as well to give it a more natural sound.
You make me feel crazy. Oh yeah. Drive me out my mind. The situation's fading. But for someone who wants a more processed type of sound, I would turn the retune speed all the way down and the humanizer all the way down. As you can hear, it sounds a whole lot more robotic, a lot more auto-tuney. Yeah, it sounds crazy. And then I have 2 delays. You can turn those off and on how you wish. I'll show you what they sound like on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then you can add some reverb too. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, these presets can literally make anyone sound cool live. Like, I could say anything with these effects and it just sounds cool. Yeah! Whoa! Crazy. My presets come fully ready to go. You literally just drop and drag them and you're ready to go.
I really hope this video helped you guys and will help bring a new element to you guys' performances.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and if this video was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps with the algorithms and whatnot. And if you liked any of the songs you heard, I think they're all out and they will be on my Spotify or my Apple Music, link in bio.
I appreciate you guys so much. Much love, y'all.
I couldn't give two fucks about what your friends say. I might make this song and drop it in the same day.